All right, what's up, freeloaders? Um, Calling you freeloaders now because Discord is free. I'm having a very validating experience right now, seeing NQ go down after I got out. Felt like I made the right read there with this line, this guy right here. So I'll explain that at the end of this when I'm talking about my 370.5 point long. I titled it 370 point long. It's actually 370.5. So what had happened was I was looking for us to take out this, and I said we're going into the 400s. Give me one sec. That took way too long. Anyways, this was on the 7th, so I guess it's Friday. Okay, I edited it. All right, it said 21 100. You can ask anyone in there. It said 21 100, and I was like, that is too fucking stupid. Um, and I didn't notice it until later on, so I just edited it. I'm sorry, but anyways, said we go as low as 400 to make this breaker here. The breaker of which I speak is from the 2 hour. I was looking for a nice sweep out here of 430, 429. I've been talking about that in the group for like a week, or maybe not a week, maybe like 3 days, 3 days. Yeah, if you count the weekend, like 4 or 5 days. But um, anyways, ideas get over 22 100, which is this guy right here, 2293, and just behind it is 22 100. So essentially, the idea is that we would rip down, take out something completely non-structural. A bunch of people think it is structural because they don't know their head from their ass, and then it comes up and rips all the way to the 20,100. And then after that, I don't know because we're really making a mess here. And we're starting to look an awful lot like this section of price action. And if that's true, then this runs down, sweeps this out, then it runs up and sweeps all these highs that are stuck up here, and then it sells for uh, a year. So it could happen. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying it could happen. We have the flip down. We have this range, all this shit, and then we could potentially come up here and see us turn around. Um, but either way, whatever happens, my bias is just that it's gonna at least go up here, right? So all I have to do is just worry about the day, and that's what I did. So let's see what happened. Pretty much, let me put the picture of the trade up on here. Copy image, paste. Okay, let me put the image of the trade up here. Um, so got in at 491. As you can see on Twitter, I shared it in real time, but it was a little bit delayed because I was literally in the bathtub. No one make fun of me for that, please. But yeah, I was in the bathtub and just relaxing for the night. And then I was like, oh yeah, the market opened. And my alerts were going off for this, 430 level and a little bit above it as well. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? Basically, this is why I said that if my TP1 gets hit, I'll set my SL a bit lower and then hold for the whole day. And that was pretty much what I did. Held until uh, like right around here. So an hour and a half left in the day. Went ahead and exited the trade because it just felt like the right thing to do based on everything going on here. But I don't know. Maybe it just continues to rip, and it's like an afternoon rip, and I got left out for a couple hundred more points. That would be sad, but at the same time, I secured a 370 point banger, a 60 point on my first contract as well. So that's a net total of 430 points on that trade. If you sum it up to one contract. So I got in this trade because this is non-structural, but all of it's non-structural. It's kind of complicated. So if you're talking about like what are we going to respect in this non-structural trend, like if I believe that we're headed up here, right, then I believe that we need to get there somehow. We've got to take something big out to make that jump, especially after a bearish day on Friday, right? So for us to be able to get up there, we have to complete our draw. The reason why I think this is a draw and that this is not a draw is because if you were to cut off all this stuff on the left here, right, and just draw structure and pretend that it was all, accurate real structure right here, we would essentially be seeing um, something like what I'm drawing right now, and it would appear like a flip down and then a flip up, and that would make this right here the Mark II, the established Mark II. So we went and swept it. Not really the established Mark II, but I was just looking to see, well, what's going to happen when it gets swept, right? It got swept, and then it just started to pump, which is why I got it at 491. It was moving too freaking fast, and I couldn't even measure on my phone the risk here, and I didn't know if it was only 75 points, but I didn't know that at the time. I didn't really know where I was. I just knew it hit that level that I was interested in, and now it's ripping, and I'm very interested in getting it long. I'm gonna go ahead and throw something small on there. I throw in two contracts. Wish I had been able to get more, but it's fine because it's a really good winning day. This is the only trade I took, so I'm doing a new thing where I actually have my total P&L for the day turned off. I don't exactly know, but if I had to do the math, 430 points times two is 860. So not bad for the live account. Um, Pretty good. Real cash in hand, 860, not bad. Um, and yeah, I mean, my idea for why we were going all day is literally just because, yeah, we're going up here. So let's talk about how I managed the position. I gave a lot of updates on how I was managing my stop loss. So first thing I did was step one, got to refer to basic liquidity concepts. So I got in right here and right off rip, 491, and right off rip my stop loss was just down here, and then upon further investigation as we climbed higher up into this gap that we had made, I moved my stop loss, I believe, to the body here because this is such an extreme rejection zone. I just believe that, as far as order flow goes, my understanding of the market, if we're going to liquidate such incredibly strong buying pressure in the middle of the night, if we're going to liquidate it at all, I think it's likely that it's just not going to hold anyways. Like if we go up, we're going to come with that. If you guys have seen the original playlist, you know about DNB. This is pretty much a DNB kind of thing. Um, and so I want price to continue to move away, right? So we're looking at the 1 minute, and let's kind of pinpoint the moments where I did move my stop loss. So I know that once we got to 60 points, I took profit. At that point, I said, okay, I've got my stop loss at anywhere between 60 to 30 points is fine because it's a break even trade. If I were to lose a whole 60, it's still a slightly tiny profitable trade if I lose 30. And then once we were able to clear this gap, and I think even maybe I waited until we made a flip. Let me go look at the pictures real quick. I updated a lot. Um, at some point, I moved my stop loss to break even. Yeah. So it was about when we hit. It was at 5:03 p.m., which is gonna be 7:03 p.m. Which is gonna be 1903. So let's go look around 1903. Yeah. So once we're up here and we had flipped, then I moved my stop loss to break even. Because in my mind, it flipped, and so there's not really a place for me to necessarily put a valid stop loss prior to that. But at this point, we're up at 03 right here. We're on this candle right here, so we're sitting at around 164 points profit. And then beyond that, how I managed it was, it looks like once we moved up into the 700s, once we got up to like 745, so above this swing right here, once we made another good swing, and I really like this. Looks like this update came in at 3:40 a.m. What the fuck was I doing awake at 3:40 a.m.? Okay. I don't even know. That's 5 a.m. Uh, that's 5 a.m. Eastern time. So let's go all the way over to 3:40, 5:40. It's pretty much all the way over here at 5:40. I let them know my stop loss had moved to 581. So still sticking with the liquidity concepts at this point, because I know that any of these could get run out, whereas this is the flip. This right here is the flip. Any of these lows are liable to get run out right now, so I'm not tracking by each one so far. I moved my stop loss to 581, which ends up being right here. So at that point, my stop loss was 90 points of profit, and that might have just been my OCD, honestly. But I did think that if we come into this, that it's just, this to me was more like a play where I'm just imagining price doing exactly what it's doing, which is just ripping all the way through, maybe having a stalling point. Maybe we see a wick down here into this IFEG overnight or something. If we're lucky, get another opportunity to take a long again to try to get it all the way up above these highs here. Um, but not going to focus on that right now. So back to the 1 minute. And then I think I can remember pretty much from here on out what it is that I did. So I know that when we made actually, I'm still gonna have to use this as a cheat sheet for a second. 682. I moved my stop loss to 682 after we crossed 787. So 682 is going to be, yep, these lows right here. And that was because we had this big kind of swing on the 1 minute and then pushed our way through it. And when we passed 787 up here, I think that put me in the mind space that because we had made yet another swing up here, that I was going to be able to be safe moving my stop loss because if we're running, if we're running through this swing and this swing and this swing, we're probably going to run through, um, this one, and then if we run through this one, we're probably going to run through. Well, we can run through these without getting here, but if we run through this, in my mind, these are so weak and mitigated already that I'm just looking for it to completely finish selling off back down into this flip zone, which I don't want to just sit there and watch all that P&L go away. So I move my stop loss up, and then I know I moved my stop loss after we had this fake flip zone on the 1 minute. After this fake flip zone on the 1 minute, I definitely moved my stop loss up a little bit more. I believe I moved it to just one swing behind. And then after that, I know I moved it to 742, or 744, which ended up being right here. And then that was after we got the confirmation of this fake flip zone, and then made another swing. Then I moved to under here, and then I ended up moving my stop loss to below here, because this was yet again another fake flip zone. So pretty much we have somewhere in here a swing down. We have price getting flipped to the downside. We have price flipping to the upside, and then we have price flipping back to the downside. And then after that, I think we did some stuff in here that I can't talk about, and told me that we're definitely going to be flipping up above this. So at that point, I then moved my stop loss to this guy right here. And that was kind of my final resting place. I don't know if it was the right decision to go ahead and exit the trade, but I exited at 64, right around here, because I believe that we had actually made yet another swing here. So let me get rid of these ugly drawings. Let's do some cleaner lines real quick. Yeah, so that line was drawn on purpose. So we did a swing here, doing a swing, putting a low in, going higher, and then showing signs that we're certainly going to flip below it. That's what got me out of the trade. So to me, this is a flip down, and though it is into a double fake flip zone, which I could totally just hold that. At some point, you have to just practice what you preach. And so for me, 370 points. Anything beyond that was just me being OCD, being prideful. This is a great day. I basically was hands off all day. It's exactly what I wanted because I'm not eating right now. I'm on a food fast for health benefits, and so I didn't want to be having to like micromanage the position. So all I was doing was stress free, moving my stop loss. At worst case scenario, or at best case scenario, for my stop loss, I ended up being all the way up to here, which I think was like 320 points or something, which is freaking killer. So yeah, being maybe it wasn't all maybe 300. I don't remember what it was, but it was around there. It was definitely over 300. Um, so yeah, that was the trade. And again, I mean, it's all just based on kind of the daily analysis. Like I think we could potentially be. I mean, we're just hanging out so much. It's kind of silly that we haven't made our draws. I've been talking about this being a draw for quite some time. I'm getting to the daily top-down analysis video stuff, which I'm going to be recording right after this. If you want to see my daily top-down analysis video, click on the link in the bio. The Discord is now completely free. I decided I'm going to be more focused on going full-time on trading this year, and I am not really interested in dedicating more time to the charts than I have to be. So I don't want to be on the leash with a mentorship right now. I am gonna potentially be doing once I get done with making sure that all of the premium members that I had get their kind of severance packages. I'm giving them a couple one-on-ones and talking through, making sure to help build a plan for them and stuff like that. And everything is ending amicably, unlike how it was with Safe Place, which I know was kind of a abrupt, really frustrating thing for a lot of people. This is a little bit different. I'm not getting rid of content. It's here to stay publicly. Besides my trading models, those are not things that are going to be available publicly probably for a long time until I can kind of stand on my own 2 feet on YouTube, because otherwise people like Stoic will continue to go and scavenge on smaller creators like me and make inferior trading models like the SBS, trying to knock off Mark II. He's probably going to do the same thing with the fake flip zones and the models that I have now that are working really well for me and a lot of people. I mean, the rate I'm growing my live account is unimaginable. With rates like this, I'm projected to make this account worth a lot of money in a short period of time. So, yeah, I've got to keep that stuff close to the chest. But as far as like structure, education, Mark II, model education, POIs that I pay attention to, non-structural highs and lows, order flow, just sharing my trade ideas, sharing my daily top-down analysis, sharing when I'm in a trade. I'm going to be using that Discord server literally as just a transparent journal, pretty much, of kind of how I'm trading, what I'm doing, what I'm looking for. So if that interests you guys, go ahead and join that and continue to like and subscribe and stuff like that, because the sooner I get honestly to like probably 10K or something like that on followers on YouTube, then I totally would be comfortable with releasing my trading models. But until then, I'm just too small. I have 160 followers on Twitter. if Stoic comes or Dave or someone comes and scouts me out and rips me off again, takes my shit and repackages it, then like I have no defense of myself. I have no way to tell people like, oh hey, they stole my stuff, and then I get no credit. And I would like a little YouTube monetization. There's no harm in that for the effort and time that I put into these videos uh, to share my trades and stuff with people to help them. So yeah, don't want that taken from me. So once I grow, I'm not saying like I'm permanently gatekeeping. You guys can make your own trading models with my teaching of perfect market structure and invisible market structure very easily, just with a little time and effort and maybe some mushrooms. Anyways, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I will see you guys in the next one. It might be a while. I've had a bunch of trades that have been like hundreds of points. I literally am just not tuned into doing the YouTube right now because I've been transitioning, but I'll probably try to get more, into it again. And all these trades are going to be coming from the live account because I'm completely done with prop firms. But we'll talk about that some other time. All right. See you guys later. Peace.